This happened when I was 24, and it's the reason I never keep my phone on loud at night anymore. I was living alone in a small apartment just outside Columbus, Ohio. Nothing fancy, just a one-bedroom on the second floor of an older building. It was quiet, almost too quiet sometimes, but I liked it that way. I worked long shifts at a warehouse, so most nights I'd come home exhausted, eat something quick, and pass out. That night was no different. I remember checking the time before falling asleep. 11:47 p.m. The phone woke me up. At first, I didn't even realize what it was. It was one of those deep, disorienting wake-ups where your brain feels like it's still dreaming, but then it rang again. And again. I rolled over and squinted at the screen. 2 a.m. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something about the persistence got to me. Whoever it was, they weren't hanging up. It just kept ringing. So I answered. Hello? There was silence at first, just a faint static, like a bad connection. Then I heard breathing. Not heavy breathing, just someone there. Hello? I said again, sitting up this time. A man's voice came through, low and calm. Why didn't you lock your window? My stomach dropped. What? But the line went dead. I sat there for a second, staring at my phone. My heart started picking up speed, but I tried to rationalize it. Probably a prank call. Someone messing around. Still, I got up. My apartment was dark except for the faint glow from the streetlights outside. I walked into the living room, my bare feet cold against the floor, and looked at the window. It was closed, locked. I checked it twice just to be sure. See? Nothing, I muttered to myself, trying to shake it off. I went back to bed. I don't know how long I was asleep before the phone rang again, 17 a.m. Same thing, unknown number. This time, I hesitated longer before answering. Hello? The same breathing. Then the same voice. You checked the living room. Good. I froze. Every muscle in my body locked up. What the hell is this? I snapped, trying to sound braver than I felt. A pause. Then he said, almost amused, You didn't check the kitchen. The call ended. I didn't move for a full 10 seconds. Then adrenaline hit me all at once. My kitchen was right around the corner from my bedroom. I could see part of the doorway from where I was sitting on the bed. It was dark, completely dark. I didn't remember leaving any lights on. Slowly, I reached for the baseball bat I kept under my bed. Yeah, cliché, I know. But in that moment, it felt like the only thing between me and whatever was happening. I stepped into the hallway. The apartment felt wrong, too quiet. I edged toward the kitchen, every step deliberate, trying not to make noise. My pulse was pounding in my ears so loud it felt like it was echoing. When I reached the doorway, I flipped the light on. Nothing. The kitchen was empty. I let out a shaky breath, my grip on the bat loosening just a little. Okay, you're being messed with, I whispered to myself. Then my phone rang again. Right there, in my hand, 3:26 a.m. I answered immediately this time, anger cutting through the fear. Who is this? But the voice wasn't in my ear. It was behind me. Turn around. I spun so fast I nearly lost my balance. No one was there. But the back door, the one that led to the small shared balcony, was slightly open. I was absolutely sure I had locked it earlier. A cold wave of panic hit me. I ran to the door and slammed it shut, locking it with shaking hands. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't get enough air. Then I noticed something that made it worse. Footprints, faint but visible, dirt tracked across the kitchen floor, leading in from the balcony, and stopping right where I had been standing seconds earlier. I didn't think. I grabbed my keys, my wallet, and bolted out of the apartment. I didn't even bother with the stairs. I just ran. I ended up sitting in my car, doors locked, dialing 911 with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. The police showed up within minutes. They searched my apartment. No one, but they did find something. The officer asked me, You said you live alone, right? Yeah, he nodded slowly. There's a second phone in your bedroom closet. My blood went cold. What? They brought it out in an evidence bag. It was an old prepaid phone. Still on, still connected to the last call. My call. The officer looked at me and said, We think someone may have been inside before you got home, possibly watching you for a while. They never found the guy. No fingerprints, no clear signs of forced entry, just those footprints and the phone. I moved out the next day. But here's the part that still messes with me. A week later, I got a voicemail. From an unknown number. It was only 2 seconds long, just breathing. And then a whisper. You forgot to check under the bed. This happened about 3 years ago, and I still don't drive alone at night without checking my mirrors every few seconds. I used to work late shifts at a diner off a highway outside Denver. Nothing unusual, just long hours, greasy food, and the occasional weird customer. I'd usually get off around 2:30 a.m. and start the 25-minute drive home. It was a straight shot, same road every night. That night, I left at 2:41 a.m. Everything felt normal at first. The roads were empty, just the occasional truck passing by. I had the radio on low, trying to stay awake. Then my phone rang. 3:03 a.m., unknown number. I almost ignored it, but I had Bluetooth connected, so it popped up on my dashboard screen. I answered. Hello? A man's voice responded immediately. Don't speed up. I frowned. What? I said don't speed up. A chill ran through me. Who is this? No answer. Then he said, You just passed mile marker 82. I glanced at the road. He was right. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. This isn't funny, I said. You're alone, he continued, ignoring me. No cars behind you. One truck about half a mile ahead. I checked my mirrors, exactly as he described. My heart started racing. How do you know that? A pause, then quietly. Because I'm watching you. I slammed my foot on the brake instinctively, then immediately regretted it. The car jerked and I nearly lost control. Don't do that, he said sharply. Just keep driving. Panic set in fully at that point. I sped up instead. Wrong choice, he muttered. That's when I saw headlights appear behind me. Out of nowhere, a car gaining fast. Stay calm, he said. They don't like it when you panic. They? I asked, my voice shaking. But he hung up. The car behind me got closer. Way too close. Its high beams flashed on, blinding me through the rearview mirror. I had tried to change lanes. It matched me. I sped up. It stayed right on me. Then my phone rang again. I answered immediately. Please, what is going on? You shouldn't have sped up, the voice said calmly. Now they know you're scared. Who are they? No answer. Instead, he said, Take the next exit. I'm not listening to you. If you don't, they'll run you off the road. I looked ahead. The exit sign was coming up fast. Behind me, the car swerved slightly, like it was testing me. I made a split-second decision and took the exit. The car followed. My stomach dropped. Go left, the voice instructed. I did. Now pull into the gas station. There was a small rundown station at the corner, one light flickering above the pumps. I pulled in fast, heart pounding. The car behind me slowed, then drove past. Didn't stop, didn't turn, just kept going. I sat there, shaking, trying to process what had just happened. Stay in your car, the voice said. Lock your doors. I already did. Good. Who are you? I asked again. This time, he answered. Someone who's been watching that stretch of road for a long time. A knot formed in my stomach. What does that mean? He hesitated, then said, You're not the first person they've followed. I felt sick. Why help me? Another pause, then, almost reluctantly, because no one helped my sister. The line went dead. I reported everything to the police, but without a license plate or a clear description, there wasn't much they could do. I quit that job a week later. But sometimes, when I'm driving late at night, my phone still rings. Unknown number. I never answer anymore, because part of me is terrified it won't be him this time. This happened last winter, and I still sleep with my phone turned off now. I was staying at my parents' house in upstate New York while they were out of town. Just me, alone in a big, quiet house for the weekend. It didn't bother me at first. I'd grown up there. But at night, it felt different, bigger, emptier. I went to bed around midnight, scrolling on my phone until I passed out. Then it rang, 11 a.m. Unknown number, half asleep, I answered without thinking. Hello? There was a pause. Then a voice said, Don't go downstairs. I froze, because the voice sounded exactly like mine. Same tone, same cadence. What? I whispered. I said don't go downstairs, it repeated. I sat up, suddenly wide awake. This isn't funny, I said, my voice shaking. I'm serious, it said. You heard the noise too, didn't you? And that's when I realized I had. A faint sound from downstairs, like something moving. My grip tightened on the phone. What is this? You need to listen to me, it said urgently. They're still inside. My heart started pounding. Who is? No answer. Just, lock your door, right now. I got up and locked it. My hands were trembling. Good, it said. Now stay quiet. I stood there, barely breathing. Then I heard it again. A creak. From the stairs. Slow, deliberate, like someone was walking up. Tears started forming in my eyes. Call the police, I whispered. I already did, it replied. What? I'm you, remember? My head spun. This didn't make sense. None of it did. The footsteps got closer. I backed away from the door, my entire body shaking. Hide, it said. I climbed into my closet, pulling the door shut behind me. The footsteps reached the top of the stairs, then stopped, right outside my room. I held my breath. The doorknob rattled, slowly, once, twice. Then it stopped. Silence. Minutes passed, or maybe seconds, I couldn't tell. Then sirens, faint at first, then louder. The voice on the phone exhaled. You're okay, it said. What is happening? I whispered. They're leaving. I heard movement downstairs again, faster this time. A door opening, then slamming. The sirens grew louder. Lights flashed through the window. The voice went quiet for a moment. Then it said, one more thing. What? A pause. Then, next time, don't answer the phone. The call ended. The police found signs of forced entry downstairs. Whoever it was had been inside the house, watching, waiting. They never found him. But here's the part that still keeps me up at night. I checked my call history later. That call, it didn't exist. No record, no number, nothing. Just one missed call from myself. At 3:11 a.m.